to your mind? Be honest. Probably the satirical film Borat. Some here in South Africa may agree. However, the British funnyman Sacha Baron Cohen's portrayal of the Eurasian country has, well, rubbed many people there up the wrong way. There's a concerted effort to change this perception about the country. And as I found out recently, it's a country on the move. Watch. Kazakhstan is a multicultural society made up of about 18 million people, representing more than 100 ethnic groups. And get this, the capital city, Astana, is only 20 years old.
Astana was proclaimed the capital back in 1998. Before, it was a small provincial town of less than 300,000 population. With this move, we, as you see now, gained a totally new city. The left bank of the city is built from scratch. Kazakhstan is a relatively new destination on the global tourist map. However, we are boasting great nature in terms of national parks. We have 13 national parks, and that's where we base our promotion strategy. We position ourselves as a 4E destination, which is eco and adventure, ethnic, with showcasing our rich nomadic culture and history. And the rest, 2Es, is for entertainment and events.
Building an inclusive society, something the country has worked on over the 26 years since independence.
Kazakhstan and South Africa have a very good relationship. It's actually an old relationship, obviously, because previously Kazakhstan was part of the USSR. So many of the players from those days know our struggle stalwarts very well because they engaged with them at various levels during the liberation struggle. So they're very conversant with our history.
The ambassador says South Africa can learn from this mineral-rich country.
It's a leading country in terms of how they've dealt with nuclear power. You know, they've created a uranium bank, so you can purchase from one place, and also in terms of safety. It's a very important country also for developing countries like ours. We can learn a lot from the way in which they have conducted their development, how they have positioned education, the way that they utilize skilled students in the civil service. So it's a highly educated civil service, because if you receive a scholarship from Kazakhstan as a Kazakh, you have to come back and you have to work for government for at least 5 years before you then can go somewhere else.
Astana's a stunning city. Some call it a Eurasian city of the future. A capital characterized by solidarity, mutual respect and tolerance. Blaine Herman, SABC News, Astana, Kazakhstan. And now you know. Let's further this conversation and speak to His Excellency Mr. Talgat Kaliyev, Ambassador of Kazakhstan to South Africa. Ambassador, thank you very much indeed for your time. As we've seen in that package, I mean, Astana, it's a futuristic city, isn't it? A city on the move, we're saying it, and it was basically built from scratch, and only 20 years ago. What goes into something like that?
Good morning, Blaine. Thank you for having me. Yes, exactly. As we have seen from this short video, so Astana 20 years ago, the small provincial town, nothing to look at.
Yeah. 20
years later, it calls Abu Dhabi of Central Asia. So, for Kazakhstan, after as a country gained independence, we need some kind of national idea which will unite the nation, unite people, will give them the new breeze, the new ideas. And my president, he pushed initiative. Let's build up a new city, where so the best architects, the best high tech will be implemented. And as a result, we have Astana as a city of 21st century.
Yeah. I mean, but how do you get everybody on board? How do you get everybody to buy into this idea of social cohesion, etc.? I mean, we're dealing with some issues here in South Africa with regards to social cohesion, but I mean, you've got a plethora of ethnic groups there in Kazakhstan. You have about 18 million people. Granted, it's far less than South Africa, but it's a huge geographical space. But how do you get everyone on board?
From the very beginning, my president says, I don't care about your race, gender, nationality. I see only human being with the capabilities. If you're able to help me, you're most welcome. This was a message to all people of Kazakhstan, regardless of their ethnic or religious origin. And this is how the people believed in my president. Say, okay, we'll follow you, show us the way.
How can we work together, South Africa and Kazakhstan? What is the current relationship between the two countries?
As my dear colleague Ambassador Matthew says, so we have a very excellent relations, political, so we support each other, so in the international arena, in the United Nations, we supported South African candidacy for the next term in the United Nations Security Council. We're doing very well. We understand each other, so we don't have a bad past. Yes, bad history of our relations. We started from the zero, and I see very nice perspective.
I know education is a big priority in Kazakhstan, so it is here. So what sort of programs, what sort of interactions, what sort of, maybe us going there or you guys coming here, that can be put in place in order to help our youth especially? I mean, we're going through some major issues with regards to unemployment. It's sitting at around, the last count was 27.2% unemployment. What sort of programs can be put in place in order to help our youth?
You're quite right. So we have, our countries, Kazakhstan and South Africa, we face with the same challenges, especially in the social sphere, and how to provide the job for the youth. Youth unemployment is also a big challenge for us. Of course, I think we can discuss and find out the ways, even build up the roadmap, how we can help African countries in the sphere of education. I talked recently with my minister, and he was very positive in terms that we maybe in the foreseeable future we starting giving grants for students from African countries in Kazakhstan.
Yeah. Granted, but in terms of the language, would that be a barrier? I know Kazakhstan, they speak Kazakh and Russian, isn't it? That's the two main languages. How can we get over the language barrier?
Actually, almost 3 years we have a special program starting from the medium school, where kids start learning 3 languages. The third is the English one.
Okay.
Yes, as well. We will step by step. We will also the university will be covered by that. As for the time being, yes. The kids who will come to Kazakhstan, they should learn at least Russian, just to start their education. And we do have a very nice university, Nazarbayev University, named after my president, which is built up on the Western type. It's English only.
Right. Okay. So there are programs on the cards. So South African youth, again, I guess, can get excited about this. So we'll keep in touch with you to find out exactly what that's all about. What about investment? South Africa had this, some say successful investment conference recently. We raked in about 290 billion rand, basically in a day. Any interest from Kazakh business people, wanting to invest in South Africa?
There are some kind of interest from the business back in Kazakhstan. The people they are calling or sending emails to Kazakhstan, to the embassy about where we can invest in. The point is that, frankly speaking, Kazakhstan and South Africa, we are competitors on the market of investments. So we are also trying to invest more investments because the type of the economy we have is practically the same, based on the mining. Plus for Kazakhstan is oil and gas as well, which is, but it means that we can exchange experience, knowledge. For me, for example, Johannesburg Stock Exchange is very interesting, which in terms of, because we just recently opened the Astana International Finance Center, built up on the Singapore models. and which is ruled by the British legislation. This is how we're trying to push Kazakhstan to integrate Kazakhstan to the world financial economy system.
Yeah. What about tourism? I mean, encouraging South Africans to travel to countries like Kazakhstan. There's probably a misconception of what the country is all about. I mean, it's the ninth largest country geographically in the world, isn't it? It has 18 million people, very friendly people, I must attest to because I've been there. How would you sell Kazakhstan to South Africans interested in going to that part of the world?
If you are tired of urban life, if you would like to live the ancient nomad life, the Kazakhstan is your destination. Of course, we can also compare Kazakhstan with Africa in terms of the riches of the wild game.
Yes.
But if you looking for something exotic, something that you are some other place, it's like other universe, other planet, Kazakhstan is a place.
Ambassador, thank you very much indeed for coming to the studio and telling us about this beautiful country. That was His Excellency Talgat Kaliyev, Ambassador of Kazakhstan to South Africa. Hey, Des.
Thank you so much, Blaine. What a beautiful